Today, a state of emergency is declared for parts of the city of Winnipeg.
There's reason for concern, but we don't need any panic. It's just in case, and it gives the public service the opportunity to take any emergency measures.
Also today, what caused these two semis to completely burst into flames and burn on the #1 highway? Plus, more wet weather for Winnipeg, how that will affect the floodwaters across Manitoba. Live from Winnipeg, WKGM Pulse News with Trevor Pascal. Good afternoon from the WKGM Pulse newsroom in Winnipeg. I'm Trevor Pascal. Here's what's making news this hour in Winnipeg. By boat is the only way Phil Tenkna can get home these days. That is because the road to his home is underwater, and as such, Tenkna knows how unforgiving the river can be. His neighbors built a sandbag dike, but it is now submerged, and Manitoba Hydro crews have been dispatched to the home to shut off the power. Tenkna says the people living in the area are not totally to blame. Others are taking a humorous look at the situation. One homeowner is offering his home for sale. It is not riverfront anymore. He says it is now lakefront. Crests from Morris to the floodway inlet, which includes St. Adolphe, are expected to be a little higher than those of 1950, which was the second highest on record, but about 2 feet lower than 1997. Now, those levels are generated a lot of response from people in the area who have come in to help sandbag. The slow mission in Winnipeg has even sent help. 6 workers enrolled in their employment training program. Even though crests have been lowered by half a foot, many are scrambling to sandbag to keep their homes dry. And a state of emergency was declared Thursday for parts of Winnipeg as a precaution against the rising Red River. City officials said the declaration affected about 240 homes on the riverside of the primary dike that protects the Manitoba capital. Brad Salin, spokesman for Mayor Sam Cates, says the move wasn't meant to anticipate panic. Winnipeg is the latest Manitoba municipality to declare a state of emergency. A number of municipalities both south and north of the city made similar declarations some weeks ago in anticipation of flooding. The province has also partially closed ring dikes surrounding about 12 towns in the Red River Valley. This small community of Riverside is completely closed off. South of Winnipeg, the Royal Municipality of Richcott placed 150 homes under a volunteer evacuation order Thursday after water washed out driveways and roads, and about 40 residents of the nursing home in St. Adolphe have also had to be moved to Winnipeg, such as a precaution. Evacuees were offered hotel rooms in Winnipeg, and further south, near the town of Morris, Melvin Edel was settling in for a second week cut off from his outside world. Edel has been using a small boat to get around his 1,400-hectare farm since it was completely swamped by the Red River, which is normally 6 kilometers away. Flood levels in Manitoba this spring have been among the highest on record, and what began as a flood of inconvenience has turned into much more serious in testing the strength of the province's floodway and flood-proof measures. Forecasters now say the province is in for several more weeks of high waters and washed out roads and fields that look like massive lakes. Temperatures have now climbed into the double digits, hastening the snow melting and sending more water into the Red River as it tributes. As CTV's Stacey Ashley has more on this.
It's a widowmaker over there, guys.
The urgency is clear. You can almost feel it in the air.
You've got to save West Kildonan, and you've got to save Winnipeg as a whole.
Only a few minutes later, more help. The mayor declared Winnipeg a state of local emergency for homes near the rising Red River.
There's reason for concern, but we don't need any panic. It's just in case, and it gives the public service the opportunity to take any emergency measures that need to be done.
Basically, under a state of emergency, officials gain extra powers. They can order mandatory evacuations and gain access to private property, like to build a dike if needed.
It was a preemptive move so that if we had to move quickly, we can make decisions rapidly and move into or onto property or ask for evacuation and or restrict or prohibit travel within the city.
Better do something before it's too late.
Back on Scotia Street, word of the declaration traveled as fast as the sandbag chain. Students working quickly. At the end of the line, a leak, water creeping in.
The dikes under pressure will not they'll fall. They'll leak,
And that's what they're doing over there.
This state of emergency doesn't mean much to homeowner Peter Turner. He's already thinking past this flood. He wants the mayor to build a complete berm along Scotia Street.
Finish what you start. If he comes down here and talks to me, I want that berm or dike running all the way down. It should be all the way down.
Stacey Ashley, CTV News, Winnipeg.
And let's take a look now at your Skywatch weather forecast, starting with a look outside on our live eye. And just a few clouds out there on the live eye. Now I want to show you our satellite and radar imagery. You can see just in central Manitoba there's that precipitation. That was from the Saskatchewan border. That was central Saskatchewan. That's where it came from. Now putting this in motion Friday night, just a few clouds near Winnipeg. The most precipitation is going to be north of Dauphin near the Swan River Valley. And we're putting this currently in motion for Friday 3 p.m. and then it's not too bad. Just the precipitation in central Manitoba is the thing that we will be looking for here in Winnipeg. Just a few clouds. Clearing out for Saturday though, where this Arctic air mass is really coming down. It's giving us much cooler temperatures rather than the earlier double digits that we've seen this week. It's going to be a little bit cooler this weekend, but sunny. That's the good part of this. Taking a look now at your current conditions here in Winnipeg. Well, coming up on WKGM Pulse News, how this car ended up in the small business, and what happened when these two semis crashed on the #1 highway, plus a complete look at your Skywatch weather forecast. News First continues in Sydney.
Tonight, the latest on the flood dangers in Winnipeg. Parts of the city are now under a state of emergency. And why the time of the month matters for women and stress on their knees. Tonight on CTV National News.
And welcome back, everyone. Tonight's lows across southern Manitoba look like this. 7 in Winnipeg, Borden, Winkler, 11 in Sprague, a little cooler in Barons River at 1, overnight lows of 6 in Gimli, same for Purcell Prairie and Brandon, 1 in Dauphin, that's really cool. And this is where you really see the coolness. -2 in DePauw and Swan River, as well as Norway House, -5 in Thompson, -8 in Churchill, where we normally see -1 in Churchill tomorrow. Churchill -3, much cooler throughout most of northern Manitoba. 5 in DePauw, again, that flurries in central Manitoba not going anywhere. 4 for Dauphin, much cooler than what we've seen throughout the week. 10 in Brandon, Morden, Winkler, and Winnipeg. 18 in Sprague, a little warmer, but our 20 went way off into northwestern Ontario, into Fort Francis at 20 degrees for a high. That's where our 20 is. That's right. Take a look at your 5-day forecast now. 9, like I said, for tomorrow. A lot of sun for the weekend, but cooler temperatures, as you can see. The rain comes Monday morning at 12 degrees. Our normal is about 12 degrees. Tuesday, again, partly cloudy skies at 12 degrees. Rain pushing in throughout midweek next week, and temperatures near 11 degrees. Take a look now at your current conditions across the province. Turning to other news now, a fiery crash shut down the Trans-Canada Highway east of Winnipeg overnight. It was so bad, fire crews did not think anyone could survive. 2 semis collided on Highway 1 just east of Deacon's Corner around 1 a.m. Thursday morning. RCMP say one of the semis was slowing in anticipation of a red light when it was hit from behind by another semi. One of the trucks was carrying dangerous goods and caught on fire and exploded. Amazingly, the 4 people inside the trucks only suffered minor injuries.
We thought we were going to take some bodies out of the truck, and they did get out of the truck before it caught fire. The driver of the front semi jumped out of the truck right away and broke the window to the second tractor, and he put his hand in there because it was full of smoke already, and he couldn't find anybody in there, and he had to back away because it started in fire already.
The highway has since reopened, and Mounties are still investigating. A Toyota Camry smashed through the front window of this business in a strip mall in St. Vital. The store was closed and undergoing renovations at the time. When it opens, it is going to be a meat store. Marcelo Castellano told CTV News he was working inside the store when the car came barreling through the window. Now, Costello says the driver of the car told him she got her foot stuck between the gas and brake pedals as she was pulling in, trying to park in front of a neighboring bank. For more news and for the latest breaking news and, of course, your local Flood Watch. Visit us on the web at WKGMPulseNews.tk. That's what's making news for today. On behalf of all of us here at WKGM Pulse News Studios, we hope you have a great day, and of course, we hope to see you tonight for WKGM Pulse News at 6. We leave you now with more on what this devastating flood leaves Manitoba. Have a great evening.